everybody's against Bitcoin before they're for it. And your first reaction is always to be skeptical. And after an hour, you're not quite sure, but after 10 hours, you think maybe there's an asset there, but you don't know how you feel about it. And after about 100 hours, you start thinking, this is like a digital monetary network. This is like Facebook for money. And so I would say I started skeptical, and then because I had a need to figure it out, I became a believer.
Bitcoinzilla stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoinzilla today and enjoy the new edge. In this video, let's discuss these topics and more.
Well, so first of all, what Satoshi discovered was how I send something of value between two different individuals without a trusted intermediary. So that's known as solving the double spend problem. But if I want to send $1 million from me to you without a bank, Satoshi solved that. But inadvertently, when Satoshi solved that problem, Satoshi figured out not just how to send $1 million from New York to Tokyo without an intermediary, but how to send $1 million forward in time 30 years without an intermediary. If you can transfer something without an intermediary, then you can store something without an intermediary. So the killer app of Bitcoin is the store of value in cyberspace. And what's that worth? There's about $900 trillion worth of wealth in the world, and about half of it is used for its utility value. People buy assets for their utility. They buy houses and buildings and boats and planes and pieces of art because they want to use them, look at them. But the other half of that wealth is assets that are purchased as a long-term capital investment or as a store of value. So $450 trillion of the world is long-term capital. And so if I take you and I drop you in Africa and I say, here, take $100 million, buy anything you want anywhere in Africa, but you got to keep it for 30 years. And, then I say, or you could have the same $100 million invested in the U.S. Most people would say, well, that's a no-brainer. I'm going to keep the money in the U.S. There's nothing I want in Africa that's as valuable as property in the U.S. But what if you can't have property in the U.S.? Then what if your choice is I can have $100 million worth of Bitcoin in cyberspace? I can have $100 million worth of digital property, or I can have $100 million worth of land in any country in Africa, or any building or any company or any bond or any currency in Africa. And the answer, when you think about it, is there's nothing you want in Africa that's better than having digital property in cyberspace. And there's certainly no place where you're going to trust your money or your assets for 30 years, much less 100 years, much less 1,000 years. So when you start to ask the question, where do the 8 billion people on the planet and where do the 300 million corporations on the planet, where are they going to store their capital if they don't have recourse to the United States and, property on the Upper East Side? The conclusion you come to is I'm going to put my money in cyberspace. And so Bitcoin's real use is it's digital property in cyberspace. It is cyber Manhattan. It is a place where you can store your capital and give it to your great-grandchildren. And you know that you're not going to be taking risk against a bank as a counterparty or another company or country or currency or culture. When you don't want to take risk, when you don't want to make an investment, when you don't want to bet on the direction of the commodities market, when you just want to store some money for 100 years and forget about it, well, you put it in the safest bank of the universe.
Bitcoin's resilience at $68,000 boosts altcoins Sol, Doji, RUNI, and BGB, with each showing technical signs of potential rallies. BTC bounced back above $67,500, indicating a positive trend if bulls keep the price above $66,500. Analysts suggest potential gains towards $72,000. Sol remains strong above the $161 support and faces minor resistance at $179, with a potential move to $189 if bulls hold momentum. Doji's positive momentum supports a push towards $0.15, signaling potential gains if resistance holds. Rumi's symmetrical triangle pattern indicates a continuation of its previous trend, with targets of $5.71 and $6.76 if bulls succeed. BGB trades around the $1.14 $1.21 range, with a possible breakout toward $1.34. With Bitcoin stabilizing, Sol, Doji, RUNE, and BGB present promising setups, with technical patterns favoring bullish movement across these assets.
I have to jump in with the question that, everybody worries about, right? What if it gets hacked? And I know before everybody jumps on me, like, it's pretty much not hackable, but, we're living in different times and there's all kinds of crazy AI productivity gains. Is it really and truly safe?
Well, the question that you're asking is the same question that I had to ask as the fiduciary responsible for $500 million of my shareholders' money back in 2020. I said, before I invest in this, is it going to be hacked? Is it going to be banned? Is it going to be copied? Those are the big three questions. And it's hard to know that in the first year of the network, but we're now approaching year 16. It'll be the 16th anniversary of the network on Halloween. That's the 16th anniversary of the white paper, that is. And
Satoshi Nakamoto, by the way, not everybody knows that, but Satoshi basically came up with this. We don't really know if Satoshi was a real person. I'd be curious to get your thoughts on that, or whether it was a group of people, but amazing, obviously, discovery. Continue.
So after 16 years, it has been copied 10,000 times. They all failed. It's the winner, right? It's the network that all the smart, rich people in the world chose. It's the bank in cyberspace. If you show up in a city and there's 10,000 banks and you have a bunch of money, and the question is, which bank should you put your money in? You go find every smart, rich person that you know in the city. And you say, hey, where do you put your money? And if they all put their money in one bank, you're probably not going to put your money in a bank that's a million times smaller than them that only has poor, stupid people. So it was copied. It's the winner. It is the bank that's of choice of the smart money in the world. And will it be banned? You couldn't know that for 15 years, but the IRS legitimized it as property in 2014. The SEC approved a host of Bitcoin ETFs in January of 2024. Today, it's held by nearly 100 publicly traded companies. Every major regulator has certified it as a commodity, not a security. That was a judgment by the former head of the SEC under Trump, and that's the judgment of the current head of the SEC, Gary Gensler. So it's not getting banned. And that takes us to the third question is, will it be hacked? And Satoshi's got about $70 billion in a bunch of wallets that any hacker could have if they could crack the code, and it's been there for 16 years and nobody's cracked the code. It hasn't been hacked, and the reason it hasn't been hacked is because it's defended by a wall of digital energy, about 730 exahash. That's more computer power than all of the computers that Amazon or Microsoft or Apple could, working jointly together, could generate.
Ripple's CEO has revealed that his 25-year-old bank account was closed due to his role leading a crypto company, underscoring rising regulatory pressures and uncertain U.S. policies. An economist has argued that Bitcoin is a reserve asset similar to gold, noting that some central banks might consider adding it to their reserves. Ethereum shows signs of a potential rebound as it holds strong support levels, attracts institutional interest, and may benefit from rival asset rotations. Ethereum's $2,400 support is the lower trend line of a multi-month ascending channel, often preceding rallies. On October 25, 543,000 Ethereum exited Coinbase, indicating bullish institutional moves. Ethereum could rise as Sol's overvaluation hints at a price correction. Ethereum's RSI bounce from a support zone supports upward momentum. Signs point to a potential Ethereum rise to $6,000 by early 2025. Dogecoin Doge experienced a notable price increase after Elon Musk referenced Doge during a recent event. Technical indicators also support a positive trend. Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, mentioned spurred Dogecoin market interest. Dogecoin's price quickly rallied, reflecting Musk's influence on Doge. The 50-day NA crossing above the 200-day MA suggests a bullish outlook. Holding above $0.141 keeps Doge's price potential towards $0.156. Doge could rise to $0.156 or $0.171 if momentum holds steady. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.